Today, we're looking at a few Cadillacs that almost never got produced. Let's go hear all about them. Welcome to Double Clutch and the House of Classics.
Today, we have the honor and privilege of looking at three of the most significant cars in Cadillac's history, the beautiful 1934 Fleetwood series. This is a 1934 Cadillac, original condition, Fleetwood V8 Coupe. It's a magnificent car, having only been repainted with an original interior and all other trim. It was one of 6 of this model made in 1934, and it's the only known example surviving today. It has an accessory rear-mounted trunk. It has fold-out interior opera-type seating. It has the beautiful biplane bumpers that were characteristic of all 1934 Cadillacs. And in this light color, it shows to especially good advantage the beautiful body lines and characteristic detail that were on this car. The 1934 Cadillac was a especially significant car. It represented Cadillac's first venture into the area of streamlining. They did a wonderful job blending the best of the streamlined idea along with traditional values that were expected of a car of this kind. To finish the car and to complete the detailing, there's many wonderful Art Deco touches in terms of emblems and bumper trim and details that really set the car off and make it a true masterpiece. For those that were fortunate enough to be able to buy a prestige car, these cars were virtually custom built in every way. They were made for that customer, not just the color or the upholstery, but the body design was very unique and specific to what they may have wanted. These cars cost more than a typical house would have cost back then. The appreciation of these concept cars that Cadillac developed for the Fleetwood brochure have been appreciated a lot more in later years than they were at the time they were actually developed. They were developed during the time of the worst part of the Depression, and the market for cars like this was virtually non-existent. In later years, it became a fascinating subject as to what these cars might have really looked like had they been built. They were beautiful cars, and they represented an advanced design philosophy as compared to the production cars that were actually built. Further discussing the beautiful, magnificent 1934 Cadillac 16s, we have 2 of the finest examples of these cars ever known. These cars were illustrated and shown in the Fleetwood brochure in 1934, but they were never built. Fran Roxas, as a vision, saw them completed and designed and finished as 2 complete cars in the middle 80s, a full half-century after the ideas originally appeared. In actually fabricating these cars, Fran Roxas relied extensively on practices that were used back in the 1930s to build a custom-bodied car. Every single part on these cars was handmade. There was nothing created from a production part of any kind on the body shell parts. They fit perfectly with the idea of a youthful and athletic design that was uncharacteristic of typical V16 Cadillacs of that era. They're among probably the most beautiful cars in the world.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Classic Car episode. Join us for another one next week, only here on Double Clutch. And don't forget to catch our next restoration segment this Thursday.